A very good morning, and today we are going to discuss about hydropower plant. So most of you might be knowing that uh, power plants are classified based on the input given to the plant. Here, why I'm telling hydropower plant means the input to this power plant is water. So we are using the water as an input, and we are going to circulate this water into the turbine so that the turbine rotates with the help of the energy which is given by the water. So water is placed at very high position so that it possesses some high potential energy, and that potential energy we are going to use it as converted into kinetic energy at the turbine, and the turbine will slowly convert this kinetic energy into electrical energy with the help of alternator. So here we are using water as a source. So let us go for the schematic diagram how it looks. So here we can see there is one reservoir. So this is the reservoir where water is stored. So to store the water, we need a dam. So dam is constructed. When dam is constructed, the entire water is stored here in the reservoir. Okay. And through the dam, what we are doing is we are sending the water, required water, like this. Okay, like this. So this is the flow of water from the dam to the powerhouse. This is your powerhouse. Okay. And to this powerhouse, what you are doing, you are sending water from the dam. While sending water to the dam, okay, to this powerhouse, there are some equipment we need. The first equipment is penstocks. Penstocks are nothing but they are cylindrical shaped objects where water is they will carry water from such tank or reservoir to the powerhouse. Very important part of the hydropower plant penstock. Next one is valve house, and next one is surge tank. So what are the functions of these three we are going to learn in the next slides. So this is the schematic diagram where water is stored in this reservoir, and that water is sent to the powerhouse through penstocks, and the remaining water after rotating the turbine, the remaining water is collected in the canals or rivers, okay, where the powerhouse is situated. So to construct a dam and to store huge amount of water, it is not possible in the urban areas. So wherever the water is available, we have to construct the dam there itself, and we have to construct our powerhouse there itself below the dam. So these hydropower plants are generally situated at at the place where water is available. So if you want to construct a thermal plant, you can construct if land is available. But to construct an hydropower plant, there are some restrictions. What is the first restriction? The first restriction is availability of water. If there is no water, we can't construct this dam there. Next, there should be a provision for storage of water. There should be a provision for storage of water. That means the water that we are collecting here should be able to store. Okay. And cost of the land and type of the land which you are selecting for construction of dam. Okay. And transportation facilities to the powerhouse. Okay, so these four factors have to be taken into consideration while constructing the powerhouse for a hydropower plant. So first one is availability of water, next one is storage of water, cost and type of the land, and transportation of the four points we have to take care. So this is the overall picture of the hydro power plant. Next. So hydropower plant or hydroelectric plant schemes. What are the schemes available. First one is a run of the river plants having small amounts of water storage and thus little control of flow through the plant. So the first scheme is run of the river plants. Okay, where the water is very limited, only small amount of power can be generated using small turbines. Second one is storage plants, having the ability to store water and control the flow through the plant on a daily or seasonal basis. Generally, we will go for storage plants. Okay, where you can store the huge amount of water and control the water flow. If you have control of water flow, then only you can able to control the power output also. Because for a generator, if you want to change the speed of the generator, which is connected to the turbine speed is also to be changed. So to change the speed of the turbine, we have to control the flow of the water into the turbine. Once we have the ability to control the flow of water which is coming to the turbine through penstocks, then a reliable and quality power can be obtained from the generator. Next, the third scheme is pumped storage plants. So, what is this pumped storage plants? Is nothing but uh, under under low load conditions or low peak conditions, what we are going to do is we are going to pump the water from a very pump the water from a river to very high height where tank is constructed, a huge tank is constructed, and in the night time or when there is very less consumption of power by the consumers, we are going to use the excess power to pump the water from rivers or canals to a very high storage, uh, high placed tank. Tank is placed at very height, and to that height, water is being pumped. Okay, so whenever there is a huge requirement of power, suddenly or conditionally, then we are going to use that water which is stored in the tank, which is situated at very height from the power plant. So these are the three schemes that are available in the hydroelectric plant schemes. Next, selection of plant capacity, energy, and other design features. So suppose you have a plant, and for the plant, let h is the height, h is the height of the water, or you can call it as a head, or you can call it as a head. Suppose the water is here, and uh, your power plant is here, then this is your head. This is your head h. Okay, the height from the power plant is measured as h. Okay, now the water will be flowing from here to the power plant through penstock, and that flow rate is q. Let the water flow rate is measured as q. Okay, flow rate is measured as q. Then the power that is being can be generated is equal to 9.8 into efficiency into q into h, where efficiency is the plant efficiency. Where efficiency is the plant efficiency, p is the power in kilowatts, and q is the discharge flow rate. Discharge flow rate of what? Water. And h is the head. And h is the head. If you know these three, efficiency, qh, you can calculate how much power you can generate from the station using the formula p is equal to 9.8 efficiency into q into h. The flow rate and head are influenced by the reservoir inflow, storage characteristics, plant and equipment design features. The flow restrictions imposed by irrigation, minimum downstream releases, or flood control requirements. So this Q and H are not fixed for hydropower plant. They will be varying. They will be varying. Why they are varying? Why they are varying? They are varying because of the variation of H and flow rate because of plant equipment design. Okay, reservoir inflow. Suppose there is no inflow to the in summer season, there won't be inflow to the reservoir. Okay, at that conditions. And suppose suddenly for water requirements you need to release the water, you should not store in the dam, or when there is a floods we have to compulsory release the water. So like that, when water is released or water is used for other purposes, okay, so H and Q will be changing. So H and Q not only changes due to these conditions, storage conditions, but also changes because of the continuous utilization of the power. Suppose if the water is used continuously, will the head remain same? No, there will be some small deviation in the head, and there will be a small deviation in the flow rate. Okay, now this is the first formula which you are going to use to calculate the P. You have to remember this by heart this. Next one is weight of water is equal to, formula is volume into density. Suppose volume and density of the water is given. Okay, where volume is the volume of the reservoir, density of the water, and the weight of the water is equal to volume into density. Now, the next formula is weight of water available per second is equal to Q, where Q is discharge flow rate into 1000 into 9.81. Water availability after per second. See here, we are releasing the water from height to power plant, and after for every second there will be a decrease in the water. We can't assume that the amount of water that we are sending to the power plant will be filled by the inflow. Okay, there won't be any inflow sometimes, so water availability decreases. Okay, or there is a chance that water availability increases also, but we have to use this formula to calculate the availability of the water at that instant or at that second is equal to Q into 1000 into 9.81. Once you know the HW, weight of the water, so P is equal to W into H into efficiency. Okay, W into H into efficiency. So this is the second formula for power, and this is the third formula, and this is the fourth formula. So you have to remember these four formulas in order to do some problems. At the end of this section, we are going to see some problems. Okay, next. What are the main components of the or constituents of the hydroelectric power plants? Number one is hydraulic structures, water turbine, and electrical equipment. So the entire hydroelectric plant requirement or equipments are divided into three categories. One is hydraulic structures, second one is water turbines, and third one is electrical equipment. And third one is electrical equipment. Okay, let us see the first one, hydraulic structures. What are the hydraulic structures we need? One is dam. We need a dam. What is the purpose of dam? A dam is a barrier which stores water and creates waterhead. Dams are built up of concrete or stone, earth or rock fill, whatever it may be. We are not going into the details how dam is constructed, but a dam is required to store the water. The second part we require is spillways. Spillways. The what is the purpose? Why spillways are required? Sometimes, sometimes there will be a storage of water more than required, or there will be some demand for the water from irrigation or some other purposes. So instead of sending through the penstocks to the power plant, we directly release the water. Okay, we directly release the water. Okay, through spillways to the river situated at the bottom of the reservoir. So actually, the water has to flow through the penstocks, and then it should go into the turbine and rotate the turbine, and then come out. But because some requirements, there may be a situation where we have to send the water directly downstream, okay, onto the downstream. So spillways are used to for that purpose, where directly where we can directly send the water to the river. So the next is headworks. The next one is headworks. Headwork consists of the diversion structures. Some diverting structures will be there where we want to control the flow of water to the turbine. Okay, these diversion structures. What are the diversion structures that generally use? Booms, racks for diverting the flow, debris, sluice. Okay, so these are the few words which are used for diverting structures. So what these diverting structures will do? They will send the water in the required direction. In the required direction. That means controlling the flow of the water. The flow of water into the through the headworks should be as smooth as possible. The reason why we have constructed these diversion structures is to make the water flow as smooth as possible. Okay, as smooth as possible. Next one is surge tank. Very, very important part which we encounter in the hydropower plant is surge tank. A tank that is constructed, okay, almost at the head height of the more than the height of the dam. Okay, almost at the height of the dam, a surge tank is constructed. So, what is the purpose of this surge tank? Let us see. Okay, when we are directly sending water to the turbine, there won't be any problem. But when you are sending through penstocks, through a closed penstocks, become necessary to limit the abnormal pressure in the conduct. So ఎప్పుడైతే when we start sending water through the penstock, we need to control the pressure inside the penstocks. For this reason, uh, always a surge tank is provided in order to take the pressure of the on the penstocks. A surge tank is located near the beginning of the conduct. So this is the conduct or penstock. Okay, this is the starting point of the penstock or conduct, and at this point you are going to construct a surge tank. Okay, and we are not going to fill the surge tank to the full of its level. So what we are trying to do? We are trying to we are trying to fill the surge tank to half of its capacity. So whenever there is any backward flow of water, okay, there may be situations where you are going to close the valve to control the flow of water. What will happen if you suddenly close the valve at the turbine? There may be a chance that the water will come back. The water will come back through the penstocks. There will be with some force. In order to take that force or pressure, okay, on the penstocks, this surge tank will allow the water to flow into it because it is half filled. So like that, these surge tanks will be used. When the turbine is running at steady load, there is no surges, and the flow of water in the conduct is just sufficient to meet the turbine requirements. Okay, when there is no change in the load. However, when the load on the turbine decreases, the governor closes the gates of the turbine, reducing the water supply. The excess water at the lower end of the conduct rushes back to the surge tank, increasing the water level. So, what this para is explaining you? This para is explaining you the same thing which I have explained. That is, it will take the pressure from the penstocks when the water is coming backwards. Okay, thus the conduct is preventing from bursting. So, a penstocks burst avakunda, this uh, surge tank will be helping. On the other hand, when the load on the turbine increases, additional water is drawn from the surge tank. The surge tank not only takes the pressure when there is a backward flow of water, but also supplies the excess water when the load increases. When the load on the generator increases, what will happen? The speed decreases. The speed of the turbine or the speed of the alternator decreases. Uh, Hence, it reduces the speed of the turbine. So, in order to make the turbine rotate at its original speed, additional water is required, which is supplied from the surge tank. Which is supplied from the surge tank. Next, penstocks. Penstocks are open or closed conducts which carry water to the turbines. So through penstocks, we are going to carry the water to the turbine. They are generally made up of reinforced concrete or steel. Concrete penstocks are suitable for heads lower than 30 meters, as greater pressure causes rapid deterioration of concrete. Steel penstocks are designed for any head. So when water is flowing continuously, there may be erosion of concrete. So generally, steel penstocks are used for all the heads. Okay. When water runs out of the penstock faster, okay, a vacuum is created which causes the penstock to collapse. Under such situation, air valve opens and admits the air in the penstock to maintain inside air pressure equal to the outside air pressure. See here, imagine that there is a penstock and see that the entire penstock will be of huge length, where inside there will be some air. When you are sending the water to this through this penstock, there may be a chance that the pressure of the air inside the penstock may increase because of the huge flow rate of the water. So, in order to remove that pressure on the penstock or inside the penstock, some valves are fitted on the penstock. Okay, where these air valves opens and admits the air in the penstock, so excess air is removed from these air valves, and equal amount of pressure is maintained in the penstock. Okay, so required amount of pressure is maintained in the penstocks. So what is the purpose of penstocks? The purpose of penstocks is to send the water from the reservoir to the turbine. Next very important topic is water turbines. So we need water turbines to to run the generator. So when water turbines, how these water turbines are used? These water turbines, when water falls onto this turbine, what will happen? The turbine starts rotating. The turbine starts rotating. When water from very high point falls on the turbine rotates. So there are two types of turbines. One is impulse turbine. Second one is reaction turbines. So there are two types of turbines. So in impulse turbines are used for high heads. Impulse turbines are used for high heads. In an impulse turbine, the entire pressure of water is converted into kinetic energy in the nozzle, and the velocity of the jet drives the wheel. The example for this impulse turbine is Pelton wheel. Hope you know what is Pelton wheel. You might be learning about Pelton wheel. So when water is coming from very high head with a high pressure, this water is injected on the Pelton wheel through a nozzle, so that more pressure will be created and the rotor will rotate at a very high speed. It consists of a wheel fitted on an elliptical buckets along its periphery. The force of water on will be on the bucket, so that the turbine rotates, and also the rotor rotates. Okay, rotor rotates. So this is the head from where water is coming, and it will enter into this nozzle. Okay, and from this nozzle it will be sprayed onto this bucket shaped uh, blades that are kept on the wheel. This is the wheel, Pelton wheel, and on the Pelton wheel there are some bucket shaped blades. When water hits this, what will happen? This blade will go with a force, and this entire system will be rotating, and entire system will be rotating. Next one is reaction turbines. Reaction turbines are used for low and medium Y. See, Pelton wheel is used for high heads, and for low and medium heads, reaction turbines are used. In a reaction turbine, water enters the runner partly with pressure energy and partly with velocity head. Okay, so in reaction turbines, there are two types. One is Francis turbine, second one is Kaplan turbine. Very, very important. One is Francis turbine and second one is Kaplan turbine. So a Francis turbine is used for low to medium heads. It consists of an outer ring of stationary guide blades fixed to the turbine, casting an inner ring of rotating blades forming the runner. The guide blades control the flow of water to the turbine. Water flows radially inwards and change to a downward direction while passing through the runner. As the water passes through the rotating blades of the runner, both pressure and velocity of the water are reduced. This causes the reaction force which drives the turbine. And coming to Kaplan turbine, it is used for low heads and large quantities of water. It is similar to Francis turbine except that the runner of the Kaplan turbine receives water axially. So here axially and here radially. So these points you have to remember. One is radially, one is axially. So when there is a chance for you to catch the water axially, you go for Kaplan turbine. And if the radial flow is there, then you go for Francis turbine. Similarly, the electrical equipments of a hydroelectric power station includes alternators, transformers, circuit breakers, and other switching and protective devices. So these are the main parts of the hydro plant. Okay, these are the main parts of the hydro plant. As I told you, we are going to do some few problems. A hydroelectric generating station is supplied from the reservoir of capacity 500 into 10 to the power of 6 cubic meters at a head of 200 meters. What is the head? H is equal to 200 meters. Find the total energy available in kilowatt hours if the overall efficiency is 0.7 or 75%. So weight of water available is equal to W is equal to volume into density. Volume into density. See here, the mass of 1 meter cube of water is 1000 kg. That means density can be taken as 1000 kg. Okay, 1000 kg if not given. So volume is given here. Reservoir capacity is nothing but the volume. So volume is 5 into 10 to the power of 6. So here 5 into 10 to the power of 6 into 1000 gives weight of water available. Weight of water available. Okay. So weight of water available formula is volume into density into 9.81. So I think we have seen that formula here. This is volume into density into 9.81. Weight of water available per second కావాలంటే into 9.81. So 5 into 10 to the power of 9 into 1000, sorry, 5 into 10 to the power of 6 into 1000 into 9.1. That is 5 into 10 to the power of 9 into 9.81 newtons. Now, electrical energy is equal to WH into efficiency. W into H into efficiency. So this is W. H is given 200 meters and efficiency is 0.75. So if you do it, you will get in watt seconds. If you want in kilowatt hours, divide this entire value by 3600 into 1000. 3600 into 1000 gives in kilowatt hours. So 2.044 into 10 to the power of 6 kilowatt hours. Okay, so this is the problem. We'll go for next problem. Only simple formula. What is the formula you are going to use? W is equal to volume of the water into density into 9.81. Water available is equal to weight of water available is equal to volume of water into density into 9.81. This is the formula you have to remember. Next. Water for a hydroelectric station is obtained from a reservoir with a head of 100 meters. Calculate the electrical energy generated per hour per cubic meter of water if the hydraulic efficiency is 0.86 and electrical efficiency is 0.92. H is given as 100 meters. Discharge is given as Q is given as 1 meter cube per second. Okay, 1 meter cube per second. Okay, and overall efficiency can be calculated by multiplying the efficiency of the hydraulic system and efficiency of the electrical system. So multiply hydraulic system efficiency and electrical system efficiency, you will get efficiency overall. Okay, so the weight of water available W is equal to Q into density into 9.81, that is equal to 9810 newtons. So power produced is equal to WH into N efficiency overall, that is equal to 775 kilowatt. Okay, 775 into 10 to the power of 3 kilowatt. If I want kilowatt hour divided by 1000. So 775 into 1 into 10 to 775 kilowatt hours is the answer. Next. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So a hydroelectric power station has a reservoir of area of reservoir is given, that is 2.4 square kilometers, and capacity is given as 5 into 10 to the power of 6 meter cube. The effective head of the water is 100 meters. The penstock turbine and the generation efficiencies are respectively 95%, 90%, and 85%. What he is asking you to calculate is calculate the total electrical energy that can be generated from the power station. And if the load of 15 kilowatts has been supplied for 3 hours, find the fall in the reservoir level. As we know, suppose this is the reservoir, okay, and here it will be your power plant. Here it will be your power plant. So when this water is coming out of this reservoir to the power plant, what will happen to this water level? This water level reduces, right? After a few hours, the water level reduces. Okay, so when the water level reduces, suppose this is the total head H. This is the total head H. Now, now the new H will be this one because there will be a decrease in the height. He is asking, okay, how much? Suppose this is the X. How much height this has fallen down? Okay, how much height the water has fallen down? That means how much reduction in the height of the reservoir. Now, first, water available W is equal to volume of the reservoir into weight of 1 meter cube of water. That is equal to 5 into 10 to the power of 7 into 10 to the 1000 into 9.81. This already we know. In the previous problems we have calculated this one. Okay. We have calculated this one in the previous problem. Efficiency overall is equal to 0.95 into zero point 0.9 into 0.85. Okay, 0.726. Multiply all the three efficiencies, you will get efficiency overall. Now, the electrical energy generated is equal to WH into overall efficiency. So, W is calculated, H 100 is given, and overall efficiency we have calculated here. So, overall efficiency in kilowatt hours is equal to this one. Okay, 9,89,175 kilowatt hours. After 3 hours, let X is the reduction in the height. The X is the reduction in height. Then average discharge per second. There will be a change in the discharge. There will be a change in the discharge. That average discharge per second is equal to area of reservoir into X divided by 3 into 3600. So because it is 3 hours, we are converting per second. So 3 into 3600. So area of reservoir is given how much it is 2.4 square kilometers. So 2.4 into square kilometers 10 power 6 into x divided by 3 into 3600, that is equal to 222.2 x meter cube. So this is the average discharge. Now weight of the water available is W is equal to, here volume is fixed, but weight of water is reduced. Okay, sorry, volume is reduced, right? So that volume is 222.2x into 1000 into 9.81, that is equal to 21.8x into 10 to the power 5 Newton. So energy produced is WH into efficiency overall. So already here you have calculated W, H we know 100, and overall efficiency we substitute here. You are going to get 15.84x 10 to the power of 5 kilowatt hours. But it is given that when there is a reduction in the x times reduction in the height, what is the power output? Actually, we got 15,000 kilowatts, but it should be equal to 15,000 kilowatts. Okay, so 15,000 is equal to 15.84x 10 to the power of 4. ఇక్కడ కిలో రాయలేదంతే. So here kilo is not taken, here kilo is not taken into consideration. Okay, now equate it and get the value of x. X is 9.747 centimeters. So for 3 hours, after 3 hours, this height will reduce by 9.47 centimeters. 9.47 centimeters. So these type of problems you can expect in the hydro power plant. Next, some objective questions I have collected. The type of turbine used in a hydroelectric plant for a water head range 70 meters to 500 meters is. And the second is, the surge tank are usually provided for high or medium level head dash power plants when considerably dash is required. This is the second objective question. 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 objective questions are there which we are going to discuss.